Welcome back to Just Talking with Joe Burdick. Today we've got someone whose career has gone in every direction imaginable, from hilarious comedy to cult, horror, dramatic television. If you've watched Eastbound and Down, one of my favorite shows, The Greasy Strangler, Idiocracy, Workaholics, Barry, The Detour, or dozens of other projects, you've probably seen today's guest stealing scenes. She's built a career by playing unforgettable characters, working with some of the funniest people in Hollywood, and saying yes to projects that some actors might never even consider. Liz DeRazzo, thank you for coming on my podcast. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I am a huge fan of so many of the things that you've been on. Um, I have two favorite shows of all time, Entourage and Eastbound and Down. And of course, you were a major player on Eastbound and Down. So I'm looking forward to getting into talking about your career and what you've done and what you have coming up. Oh,
Okay. Yeah.
so
Let's get into it.
all right. So who is Liz DeRazzo? Well, first of all, you answer that. So for the people that are watching this and they're thinking to themselves, she kind of looks familiar. You don't sound like Maria on Eastbound and Down, and you've also gone through a journey. You look fantastic.
Thank you.
So for the people that don't recognize you, you've gone through a journey, and how much did you lose?
So I lost, so I went from 220 pounds to 113 pounds. Yeah. In the
Fantastic.
course of almost 4 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you didn't grow up in Mexico.
No.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up going to Mexico because I would go to the clubs in Mexico. But no, I was born in Laredo, Texas. Uh, and then when I was 4, we moved to Los Angeles, and I was raised on and off in Los Angeles and Laredo, because it depended on when my parents were fighting. So we would go back and forth. And then when I was 12, we were permanently in Laredo, and I would visit LA in the summers, but permanently in Laredo from 12 to 18. And then as soon as I turned 18, I booked it back to LA.
Were your
So
parents in the business?
no,
Hmm.
no,
I,
no, no.
I I was in California. I was stationed out there in the Navy and
Huh.
in Lemoore, California, which is by Fresno. But we
Yeah,
would
yeah,
go down to LA all the time. Hollywood Boulevard, Venice Beach. I loved it out there.
yeah. I'm actually going to be in Fresno on July 17th through the 20th because I'm going to be doing a horror convention over there.
Oh, nice. I
Yeah,
um I watched a podcast you did with a couple of guys. It must have been last year, and you said you were coming to Cleveland. Had I
I
known,
did.
I would have gone to I've never been to any kind of convention in my life, but had I known, I would have gone to that.
I did. And I got the Cleveland welcome. Someone gave me a gummy.
Is that
And
the Cleveland welcome?
that's what he told me. He said that was the Cleveland welcome. And I was like, okay. I was like, he gave me a gummy, and I was like, I was about to do a panel. And he's like, just take it all. You'll be fine. And I'm like, I've never really had any. Like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. It's that panel is online. And I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I know that I was not okay.
It's that kind of gummy?
That kind of gummy.
I've been here my whole life. I never heard of doing that, but
Yeah. Yeah. He said, it's a Cleveland welcome. I'm like, okay.
w-
And I'm like, super like, sure, I'll do it. Like, yeah. Like, yeah,
so
not great.
when did you first start acting?
Um, in, so I started doing extra work in 2001. Uh, and then I started doing work like as an actress, probably like 2000. 3, maybe. I think the first thing that I did was, oh my gosh, um, a Cold Case. It was Cold Case. Cold Case. I got a guest star on Cold Case, and that was 2000. That was 2005, actually. It was 2005. But I had done some featured roles on like The West Wing, X-Files, Gilmore Girls, things like that. And then I did Cold Case, and that was my first big thing that I ever did, because that was my first real audition, and I didn't have a headshot or a resume, and I went in for this role, and I got it like the same day that I did it. So, yeah.
Oh, that's what's the audition process like anyway? Are they all different? Are they all the same?
I mean, I don't know how they are now. I mean, I don't even know that they do in-room auditions now, because like all of the stuff that I do is self-tape. But before it was a little nerve-wracking. You know, you'd go into like a little room and you'd be sitting with other actors and people like going over their lines and like being called in one at a time. And sometimes you can hear them and like know what they were saying and how they were saying it. So then you were trying to not let it get into your head, of like, oh, like this is how I'm gonna do it or whatnot. But I have horrible stage fright, so I hate auditioning. I hate being on camera and on stage because I get really bad, really, 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 really bad stage fright. Um, and yeah, so it's always a very nerve-wracking experience for me.
Hmm. Is it something you knew you wanted to do when you were little?
No, I literally only wanted to be an actress because I wanted to meet David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson because I was obsessed with the X-Files. And I was like, how do I meet them? I'm like, I have to be an actress. How do I become an actress? I have to get a SAG card. How do I get a SAG card? I do extra work. And that's how I did it.
Did you meet him?
Yes.
Did you
Several
tell them?
times.
Did you tell them
No,
the
I
story?
never told him that. I never told him that. But I met them several times and I helped David get his last dog, Brickashaw, read. And he, as a thank you, invited me to this season 10 premiere of The X Files. I got to go to the set of Aquarius. And yeah, like it was like I got to work with them. Like I was a part of a charity and they came and did events for us and I was their handler and stuff. So yeah,
But you never told them the story. That's hilarious.
never, never, never told him the story. Yeah.
Did you ever have any moments when you almost quit the business?
Oh yeah. All the time. Right before Eastbound and Down, actually, before my first audition for Eastbound and Down, I had a audition for the United States of Terra, and I messed up a line. And I remember I told myself off in front of the casting director. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm a terrible actress. Like, you don't want to see this, blah, 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 blah. And it was for an angry server. And I left. And I remember I drove to the audition for Eastbound and Down. And I laid in my car, in the back of my car, and I was crying. And I didn't want to go to the Eastbound and Down audition. And my agent called me. He's like, just go in. I'm like, I'm already an hour late. They're not going to want to see me. Like, this casting office is notoriously known for not seeing people after they're late. And he's like, just go in. Let's see if they see you. And I was auditioning for a different role. I was auditioning for Katui's wife, which is Ephraim Ramirez, who played Pedro in Napoleon Dynamite. It was to play his wife. And so I went in, and they had already moved on to another character. And I remember it was because it was for Carla Houle casting, and Simone LaFleur was her casting assistant. And she came out, and she's like, "You're late." I'm like, "I know. Like, I had another audition." And she's like, "Well, you can sit right there, and we'll get to you when we get to you." And they made me wait an hour. And I finally read, and I read for that role. And then they had me come back in to chemistry read with Ephraim on a separate day. And Maria wasn't a thing at the time. There was no role for Maria. She didn't exist. And when I was auditioning for this role with Katui, I remember I was wearing a strapless dress because I had to breastfeed in the scene, and we were just doing improv. And I didn't even know what improv was because I had never studied acting really. I had done 2 classes, maybe in college. And so I remember I called my friend. I was like, what are the rules for improv? And she's like, yes, and. Just no yes, and, yes, and. I was like, okay, yes, and, yes, and. And I was doing the scene with Efren, and it got a little chilly. And I was like, I came out of my accent, my Mexican accent. And I was like, is it chilly in here or is it just me? In my Valley Girl accent. And I was like, oh no, my boob just popped out because my dress had slipped off, and I put it back up, and they all started laughing. And then I went back into the scene. And then after that, they're like, can you come back tomorrow and you're going to chemistry read with Steve Little? We're going to call you and tell you what this is. We don't know what it is. We don't really, but this is what we're going to have you do. And then Maria was born.
Because of all that. Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. So how much auditioning happens compared to actually working?
A lot. Like, I would say like you're spending like 95% of your time auditioning compared to working. Like, I worked a lot more when I was living in LA, like from 2000, I would say 2005 till 2020. I was nonstop working. I was either on a series or doing like other things or films. Uh, but then the pandemic hit, and then I moved from LA to San Antonio. Uh, and now it's, I've gotten a couple of things here and there, but yeah, I feel like most of my time I spend auditioning.
Are you still
Yeah.
a working actress?
I mean, I don't know that I would consider myself a working actress. I think my agent and my manager would. um, but I mean, like the last thing I did was in 2024. So, I mean, and there's like things, that people are interested in doing with me, but nothing that's come to fruition yet. So it's like, there's like things like down the pipeline, but until that contract is signed and I'm on set, I don't consider myself a working actress.
Did you ever take a role just because you needed a paycheck?
Um, no, but I took a role because I felt pressured into it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about rejection? Did you have like a
Oh
really
my,
bad rejection?
yes. And it was by someone who I really, really loved. Um, it wasn't so much rejection. I just knew that it was rejection covered in a really nice bow. But it was someone who I really loved, and I'm not going to disclose her name. And it was for a really big show at the time that was on FX. And I had to do an 18-page cold read, which I don't know if you know what a cold read is, but it's when they don't give you the script beforehand. So you walk into the room and they give you the script, and then you basically go over the script and you do it, right? Generally, they give you time to prepare and figure out what you want to do. This was not that. And I
Oh,
had
that's
to drive
different than a table read, right?
yeah, correct. And I had to drive from the Valley to Sony Studios, which is in Culver City. Anyone that's familiar with LA, that's a really long drive, not great. And then they also make you park really far away from casting. So you're walking for like a mile and you're sweating and it's not fun. And I get to the casting office, they give me the sides, and I'm like, it's 18 pages. Holy shit. I'm like, okay. Um, and I go into this room, and it's this well-known actress who's also a writer. And she's like, oh my God, what are you doing here? I fucking love you. I'm like, can I curse? Cause
Oh yeah,
I
this
curse all
isn't,
okay, cool. Okay. I'm like, she's like, I fucking love you. And she's like, but what are you doing here? And I was like, oh, I came to read for this. And she's like, oh. And she's like, but you're not that funny. You're chubby. She's like, but let's see what you can do. And I was like, I'm not getting this.
wow.
Yeah.
What's the strangest direction a director ever gave you?
Oh my God. David Gordon Green from Eastbound and Down, who's now, directed the Halloween films and a bunch of other stuff. But I was supposed to be eating cereal on Eastbound and Down when Stevie comes home and has his new chin implant. And he said to me, I want you to eat your cereal like you're taking a shit. And I was like, okay, I'll do that.
Did that
So
make it
I
in
was,
the did that make it in the show?
I can't remember. I think I've only seen the show one time all the way through.
Really?
Yeah.
You watch
I
yourself?
oh, I hate to watch myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I've watched it 1,000 times, and that chin is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so is Stevie, but he really makes the show.
Yeah.
But I'm not talking about Eastbound and Down yet because I wanna skip all that to go to something else. But did you ever improvise anything that made it into the final cut?
Oh, a lot of this stuff, especially on Eastbound. Danny and Jody and like everyone was really great about like, let's shoot it the way that it's written and then like, let's play and see what happens. And a lot of Maria's stuff, especially in the beginning, was like really said by me because it was, you know, like I just kind of need the parameters and I just kind of said stuff. And there was written stuff, but I would just add little things and improv. But like they were really great about letting us play and kind of like run wild.
Well, I love the show. So I mentioned that I watched a podcast you did with a couple of guys last year, and you kept talking about the Greasy Strangler. So
I'm like,
I
okay, I'm gonna take a sip of my juicy freak.
take a
That's what I'm
sip of
drinking right now.
There's a product placement, the Juicy, what is it? Juicy Freak. Okay.
Yeah, it's
So
a Denver beer.
I watched the Greasy Strangler and I finished it today. And I was really surprised at the
I'm
end.
so sorry.
I was really surprised at the ending. I was a little disappointed by the ending. For those that didn't see it, I'm not going to spoil the ending for you right now, but um, the movie has become one of the biggest cult films ever made. Critics said this is actually hilarious. So I had to put this down so I didn't screw it up. It was gleefully disgusting, bizarre, and aggressively weird. Also, a boundary pushing cult classic in the making.
Oh
All right.
yeah.
So, Liz, when you got that script, what went through your mind?
I said no.
Really?
I said absolutely not.
Well, what made you say no? I mean,
There is a lot of nudity in the film, and I had so I had done Eastbound, and then right after Eastbound, I did Idiot Sitter with Jillian Bell, and I had just gotten cast on a different film called, I think it's called Frat Pack, if I'm not mistaken, and I was just like, I just don't like, I'm like, I did it for Eastbound. Like, I don't think I want to do that. And like, I was just like, no, I don't want to do it. And my agent was like, he's like, this is like Napoleon Dynamite on steroids. It's going to be a cult classic. Like, you have to, like, just go audition. And I was like, no. And like, he kept asking me for a few days and I was like, no, I don't want to do it. So then he called in the big guns. He called in my manager, Mara, who I've been with since 2010. And she was just like, just go in. She's like, you don't have to memorize anything. She's like, just show up. They just want to see you. Because like Elijah Wood had seen me on Eastbound and Down and he was convinced that I was Janet. And they're like, they just want to see you. And, and the director wants to talk to you. And I was like, okay. So I remember I went in and It was a chemistry read. It wasn't even an audition. I was already part of the chemistry read where I was reading with all of the different big Ronnies and with the Bradens. And I remember there was another girl in front of me and she was about to go in and they asked her to wait when they saw me and they wanted me to go in before her.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, that's not a good sign. And so then I read, and then they kept bringing people in. And then after that, I had a discussion with Jim, and he told me, like, it's not going to be shot as written. There'll be a lot of like courtesy, like coverings. If you're ever uncomfortable with anything, we'll like change it. Like he told me all of the things that I kind of needed to hear to say yes. And so I was like, okay, I'll do it. But during that time, was supposed to start Frat Pack, so I know that the producers had to negotiate with the other film to push my start date on the other film so that I could film this film before I shot the other film. Because I had come off of Idiot Sitter. I finished Idiot Sitter at 2:00 in the morning on Saturday. No, on Friday. Friday going into Saturday, and I started Greasy Strangler that Saturday. Like morning-ish. And then I did 3 weeks of that, and then I flew to Toronto to film the other film. So it was like back to back to back.
So it only took 3 weeks to film that?
Yeah, 3 weeks. 3 weeks. It was insane. It was insane.
When you read the script, though, did you say to yourself, "What did I just read?"
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, what? Like, what the fuck is going on in this man's brain?
I mean, honestly, that's what I thought in probably the first 5 minutes of the movie. I'm just thinking, "What the hell am I watching? Is this?" I mean, I was thoroughly entertained. So,
The more I've watched it, the more I appreciate the film. But I had a very love-hate relationship with it because of like things that I experienced in it. But now I've grown to appreciate it and like just take it for what it is and stuff. And like, and also knowing that people love it so much and love the character so much has made me see it in a very different light kind of thing. So I think that's like my friend Megan, who's a tattoo artist in Florida. And I met at it was at Spooky Empire. It was a convention that I did. She drew, I don't know if you can see this. Hold on.
it looks like it's,
Oh,
yeah, you can't.
hold on.
Oh, yeah, look at that bullshit artist. It's trying to come to me. That's awesome. Any of your fans ever get those tattoos?
I don't know, but she drew this and I love it. And I have it here in my desk area. Just because I love it. Like she's so great. Shout out to Megan. Love you, Megan.
And I'm
And
for the people that love The Greasy Strangler, I am not bashing the movie. I am, I watched it. It was just, it was entertaining. So I'm not bashing the movie at all.
yeah, no, totally. Like, I mean, and again, like I said, I have like I had a love-hate relationship with it and now I've grown to appreciate it more. And yeah, it was like it was insane. Like I was like, what the hell did I get myself into? Like, oh, this is weird. But I mean, like I've had so many great experiences and met so many great people because of it. So
Mhm.
now I'm like I've grown to just embrace it and just like really like, look back on that time and be like, okay, like this is yeah, like, now I don't like I'm just like, okay, cool. I did that.
So how do you explain that movie to somebody that's never seen
Um, I will tell them uh it's about love.
it?
It's about love and sacrifice and a lot of grease.
What was the atmosphere like, making that such a bizarre film?
Um, it was good overall. I mean, I experienced some things on there that I did not like, but overall, I thought it was great. Uh, or not great. Like it was good. Like I loved working with Michael. I loved working with Michael. Michael St. Michael's, who played Big Ronnie. He was a blast to like work with. He's just like so sweet and just like the best guy. And he's so funny and he just went off on tangents. So it's like the script had to be thrown out and you just had to jump in and say your line whenever there was like a time for you to say it because he would just go off, you know, and he was Michael, which made it special and made it like that much more interesting, I think. So yeah, so I really had a blast with him.
Was everyone committed to the insanity of that thing?
Um, I think so. I mean, there was definitely some uncomfortable moments because I mean, like I said, like there was of a lot of nudity. And I was like, oh my god, I don't know about this, but like at some point you just kind of have you sort of just like gave into the madness of it. I wish I had a lot more tequila on set.
Yeah,
That's all I'll say.
there was definitely a lot of nudity and not a whole lot of wardrobe changes either.
No. But I've been recreating the characters on my Instagram lately. I've been doing like before and after edits, and it was fun to like remake Janet, you know?
You still have the Janet hair? Did you get to keep it?
No, no, that was like a wig that I found. Like we were very low budget. So even like the merkin that I wore,
Mhm.
my my makeup artist Lex, shout out to Lex, God bless, cuz she would have to take it home after she would take it off of me because she would have to hand lay it on me, like hand glue it on me, and then take it off of me by hand at the end of the day. And then she would have to go hand wash it and brush it out because we only had one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were there
Yeah.
scenes when everybody just lost it?
Mm, between Michael and I, we would have a lot of those moments because he just like went off the rails and you're just like, you had no idea what was going to come out of his mouth. And you're like, what the fuck? What is going on? So yeah, with Michael and I would say there was a lot of that probably.
So are you trying to be a serious actor when you're making a movie like that? Or are you just like, this is so ridiculous. We just get through it.
I'm never trying to be a serious actor. I'm just like, I mean, like at the end of the day, I mean, other actors may disagree, and maybe it's because of the way that I came into the industry. So other actors may be like, this, she's an asshole. But I'm just like, this is make believe. Like, we're not like performing surgery here. We're playing make believe. And, we're just trying to make something fun and like, make it as believable as possible so that people can enjoy it. And that's kind of how I take every role. Like I don't think that I'm like performing any life-saving thing, you know?
Right. So
Yeah.
walking around the streets of Denver, do you get recognized from this movie or
Um
any of your
at
other projects?
times. At times. So I have people who be like, "You look very familiar. You look like you like are you on TV? Are you I've gone like, "Are you a newscaster?" I'm like, so they'll say things like that to me, especially since the weight loss. Like I think it's a little harder to pinpoint, but I do get people that recognize me here and there, and then once they like realize, especially that I was like Maria on Eastbound and Down, which I've been getting a lot from college students, which blows my mind because I'm like, you're in college. How are you watching this show? What? Um, and they freak out. Like, yeah. So, it's here and there. And even when I do conventions, sometimes they think that the person that's sitting next to me is me and not me,
Hmm.
who's me.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's weird.
Have you ever had any weird fan interactions?
Um, well, one in person and one online. Well, a few online actually. One in person. I used to do map my hikes, and I didn't know that that went on your Facebook
Hmm.
or your like feed. And I remember I was hiking and this guy was running and he was like, "Oh my God, you're still here. I didn't know if you were still going to be here when I got here." And I was like, huh. And there was like a big group of people passing by and they kind of saw how uncomfortable I was. And and he's like, "Oh, like, can I take a picture?" And I was like, "Sure, like we'll take a picture." He's like, "Oh, are you walking this way?" Because I was like headed that way. And he saw me and I was like, and then the group that was passing by, they're like, "No, she's actually coming with us." So they like sort of grabbed me and made me go with them because like they saw that there was like a weird interaction. So I
Mm.
had that. And then I had someone who's been aggressively, and he might be watching this. If you're watching this, I know, uh, aggressively wanting a picture of my feet. And I've blocked him on Instagram. I and then he found me on WhatsApp and blocked him on that. He found me on Venmo and Cash App, blocked him on that. Found me on Facebook, blocked him on that, created a new profile and tried to add me again, blocked him on that. And then he got my phone number and on my birthday texted me happy birthday and asked me again for my feet.
I've never understood that weird fetish.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
So
that's one of the more weirder ones. I've gotten other weird ones, but that's one of the weirder ones
that's crazy. Do you get people that ever quote your lines to you?
all the time.
Cool.
And then they want me to write it down on their like when I'm signing stuff. And I'm like, "Oh my God, I hope I get this right because like it's like your one photo and like I don't want to fuck it up." Cause I'm like, and also I don't remember any of these lines. Like I said them and I don't remember them, but they're like quoting them to me. And
Now
I'm
you
like,
gotta remember Hootie Tootie, right?
well, obviously I do that. And like that's one of my packages. Like if you come and see me at a convention, like you can do the hootie tootie dance with me and like like there's like a fee involved obviously, but you can do the hootie tootie dance with me and we'll film it. Um but yeah, so I know that. I do know that.
I mean, after watching you guys in that movie, it must have gone on for 5 minutes. I
It went on forever.
I was like, I'm sitting there and you guys just kept doing it over and over and over again. Then finally in my head, I started saying it. It was hilarious. Um, uh, what do you think people or why do you think people love this movie the way they do?
I think because it's so like out of like left field. It's just like such a mind fuck. Um and like it's also quotable, you know? Like there's a lot of things like that people say to me now that now I've memorized because people have said them to me enough. Like, "Am I doing this right, Janet?" Or like, "Imagine if I farted right now." Um, or paprika prinkle chips. You know, things like that. Like, I feel like it's just so quotable and it's just like so out of left field and just uh it's like in your face, kind of like, what? What is happening? Like, what are they doing? And then, like, that ending, like, what the fuck is up with that ending?
Yeah. I mean,
Even I was in it. I don't even know.
I thought you guys were it was gonna end different. So no.
Yeah, they killed Janet. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, I couldn't believe what I couldn't believe.
Spoiler alert. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, sorry guys. And I especially couldn't believe who killed Janet. So and then feasting on your eyeballs.
Right.
Yeah.
And they had to put it was almond butter in my eyes. Um, Almond butter and jelly. like, I think it was grape jelly to like make that effect after like the eyeballs came out. Because I'm allergic to peanut butter. So they had to use almond butter.
That had to be the most bizarre 3 weeks in your career.
Oh, imagine shooting naked in downtown LA when it was supposed to be a closed set, but not really because you can't close a set when you're walking underneath like a bridge in the middle of downtown LA. So your bare ass walking in red high heels.
Is that when you were walking the dog?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I feel like I need to watch it again because I know there's some things that I missed. So I'm actually looking forward to watching it again. So we've hinted at it a couple of times. A show that I've probably watched a dozen times. I don't know if I said it on here or before we started recording, but two shows: Entourage and Eastbound and Down. I have my Charo's shirt on, so I'm even more excited to talk about Eastbound and Down. How did you land that role? Because I know you weren't in the first season, and
Yeah.
you were just not a full time in the second season.
Yeah, I was a guest star in the second season. I was only contracted for 6 episodes. Um, but yeah, like I think I mentioned, it's like when I went to the audition, I was auditioning for Katui's wife.
Right.
And then um, when I did that, I did my little thing. And then they were like, can you come in for this other thing? We don't know what it is. Like, it doesn't exist yet. We don't kind of, we're just going to give you scenarios and you kind of go with it. And then I had my chemistry read with Steve, and I remember they just gave us scenarios. We started doing improv, and
You do that voice while you were doing it?
oh yeah, I had to. They were like, "You only speak Spanish. You don't understand English."
No, I mean
Uh,
Stevie's voice.
oh, Stevie's. Oh no, I can't do that.
No,
I
no.
can't do Steve.
Was he doing the voice or was he just doing it?
Oh, Oh, no, no, he was doing the full on voice, yeah. No, he's very committed. Steve is nothing but I was actually just texting with him a couple of days ago because he was in Charleston, he was gonna do an introduction reading for Danny because Danny wrote a book, and, so he was doing an introduction reading, and I was like, "Oh, like, say hi," like, tell him to say hello. So he was in Charleston, but yeah, he was doing full on voice, and I remember at one point he said something to me and I almost broke out of character and started laughing. So what he did is that he put his arm around me and put it over my face and he held me like he was going to kiss me. And he just whispered in my ear, don't break, don't break, don't break, don't break. And they saw that as kind of like romantic in a way.
Wow.
And Maria and Stevie were born. And then after that, like maybe a few weeks later, they're like, you've got 6 episodes, you're flying to Puerto Rico, you're playing Maria, like not even the character that I originally auditioned for. And they're like, you just have to be okay with nudity. And I was like, oh no. And yeah, and then when I flew there, the first night at um, the party that we have, they usually have like a welcome party kind of thing. Stephanie Lang, our producer, told me, you're coming back next season. Like, just so you know,
Hmm.
like, it's not just this season, you're coming back next season. And I was like, oh my God. So, yeah,
Did you watch any of the season one before you auditioned?
no,
And
no, I didn't watch season 1 until after I was on the show.
did you immediately know that show was going to be as much of a hit as it was?
No,
What was the
no
f-
idea.
what was the first day on set? You went to Puerto Rico. What was that?
Well, I mean, we kind of got to know each other at that party. So they kind of got to know me a little bit too much of me because I had a little bit too much tequila. Um, so it was, yeah, it was, It was nerve-wracking, but it was fun. I mean, like I said, I have, like, a lot of stage frights. I'm always, like, super nervous about, being on set and stuff. Um, but, once I start doing it, then I start doing it and I forget kind of thing. Um, but yeah, I mean, like, we always had a blast. Like, we always hung out and did stuff together. Um, even when we were in Wrightsville Beach, especially when we were in Wrightsville Beach because we all stayed at the same hotel. So it was it was like summer camp.
What was Danny McBride like?
Oh, he's such a great dude. He's
Yeah.
such a great dude. Yeah, and his wife, Gia, like she's so sweet and they're just like the sweetest people. Um, very kind, funny, and yeah, like I not a bad word to say about him. Yeah.
Everything he's in, he seems to be friggin' hilarious. So I love that
Y-
guy.
Yeah, yeah. He's very quick on his feet. Yeah.
Was there a lot of scripts being changed?
Um, I mean, not while I was on set that I remember. I don't remember getting like, blue, pink, yellow pages, like when they change the scripts a lot because like um they wrote the script and then they kind of was like, we'll shoot this way. And then like I remember one of my fondest memories, I think, it was during the scene where Maria and Kenny go to the hotel to find Stevie, and he's like about to like shoot himself, but he shoots his chin off. And we had this whole motel in North Carolina in Wilmington, and we were reading it and stuff and trying to figure it out. And Danny's like, okay, like let's go over to the next room. And he's like, okay, so like that's the script, but like let's play in here and see what comes out. Right. And so then we all kind of just did our thing. And then we went back in and shot it as it was written. And then it was like, okay, now let's essentially like let's just play. Let's just see what happens. And I loved that because it just gave us like the freedom to just whatever like we had already built up with these characters and known these characters, they allowed us to do.
Okay.
But they did get me a dialect coach, I will say.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, because when I was trying to do my Mexican accent, even though I am Mexican American, um, I, was born in Texas. My parents were born in Texas. My grandfather is Native American. He's was born in Colorado. And I was raised in LA. So I speak Spanish fluently, but my accent, I guess, wasn't that great. And so I remember I was like talking to Jody Hill, one of our directors and producers, and he was like, and I was like, yeah, so this is what I'm thinking. He's like, do you need a dialect coach? And I was like, do I? So they got me the dialect coach who worked on The Help, who had been Oscar nominated or did win an Oscar for The Help.
That's a great movie.
They got me that dialect coach so that she could teach me how to do a Mexican accent.
Wow. Yeah, that's the thing I think people are they're gonna be shocked about when they hear your voice if they've never heard you outside of especially Maria. So
Yeah.
that's crazy. Who was the biggest prankster on the set?
Um. Huh. I- Weirdly, so, someone who wasn't really on the show, um, was on the show like on one occasion, but would say really fucked up things to like mess with people. Marilyn Manson.
Marilyn Manson. What did he do? Put you to
I
sleep?
I don't think I can say this.
Oh no?
I don't think I can
Marilyn, if
say
you're
this.
watching, it's okay.
Uh, yeah, like But no, he would just say things to mess with people. But he's such a great guy. He's so funny. He's like really, really great guy. He's really kind. But he would just say things to just like shock value kind of thing.
And you can't share any of that? I mean,
No.
we're Cleveland guys, he won't care.
No, 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 no. He's one of my good friends. I can't.
All right, so then what's one of your favorite behind the scenes stories that fans probably never heard?
Oh my gosh. So we were at the hotel after a long day. We were all drinking a little bit too much tequila, Patron, and Craig um from he was on The Office. Um and he was also on Eastbound. He was the rival biker dude. Um and he is an amazing pianist. And he was playing the piano and we were all taking turns singing songs and I got to sing House of the Rising Sun while he was playing the piano and everybody was kind of like around and like we were all like just drinking and having a good time.
Hmm.
Like that's like one of my fondest memories
Are
of
you
him just like yeah, I sing. I wouldn't say I'm a singer, but I sing. Yeah.
okay. If HBO called tomorrow wanting the final
Craig
season,
Robinson. I was like trying to remember his last name. Craig Robinson.
Greg Robinson, okay.
Yeah.
If HBO called and they wanted to do another season, would you do it? Now, obviously, in the ending, Kenny Powers died, but,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, there was talk of a Stevie and Maria spinoff,
I was gonna
but
ask you that because the chemistry and I think it would be hilarious. Stevie's character was so ridiculous, but he made that show.
yeah, no, like there was talk about it and then like it died out, so it never happened. But yeah, absolutely, I would work with them like in a heartbeat. Yeah, like they were. It was like uh, it was like my biggest break, and it was such an amazing experience. Like all of those guys, like everyone involved was just wonderful and very kind and funny and just like, yeah, they're just good dudes. Yeah, good people.
I mean, the thing I think probably most people don't realize is the A-list actors you got to work with on that show. I mean, you were Will Ferrell. I mean, Elf. I can't watch Elf and not hear him talk about his plums and from Eastbound and Down, his character in Eastbound and Down. I mean, and Don Johnson, Jason Sudeikis, I love
Lily Tomlin.
Deep Roy, Matthew McConaughey. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, for a young actress, you got to work with some pretty amazing people and doing some pretty ridiculous roles. But I mean, it was all part of a great show. I mean, that had to be pretty awesome for you.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was very surreal for sure because a lot of these people like I grew up watching.
Mhm.
Uh Deep Roy I kind of freaked out on because he was in Badla in season 8 or season 9. I think it was season 9 if I'm not mistaken of the X-Files.
Hmm.
And I'm a file. So I was like, holy shit, that's Deep Roy. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm like so much closer to the X-Files.
His character was absolutely insane.
I know, but meanwhile, all I'm thinking is like my tie to the X Files. Like that's how, like
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Lily Tomlin was also on the X Files. She was in How the Ghost Stole Christmas,
Mm.
which is one of my favorite episodes with Ed Asner. So yeah, it all ties back to the X Files for me.
Now, did you
All of
tell
it.
them the story of how you got into acting or why?
No, no, no. But she was very kind. She was like the sweetest
Ah,
person. She like knew everyone's name on set. Like she like everyone, like every single person on set, she like knew.
that was
Yeah.
a crazy season with all those people.
Yeah.
I keep thinking of Will Ferrell plays some crazy roles and talk about not being a serious actor. He just makes hilarious stuff. But whenever I watch, because I watch Elf every year, but
Oh,
then,
me too. It's a
but then,
Christmas. It's like a
yeah,
Christmas event.
but then I think about Ashley Schaefer and I can't, it's almost hard to separate the two, I guess. So that had to be really cool for you. Did any of those guys surprise you? I mean, when you get to work with people you grew up watching?
I mean, just in how like kind and like uh normal it was, like it wasn't like a big deal. It was like just like you're just working kind of thing, and you're just working together, and you know, uh being in that environment together, like it was just kind of like, oh, this is how it is. It was a little bit of a surreal experience in that sense, because you kind of expect it to be, I don't know, this big orchestration, and it wasn't. It was just very normal.
So that's actually kind of a funny segue into the big orchestration. Whose idea was it for for Maria's breasts?
Those were the guys. Those were the guys. And actually, the ones that were on the show, those weren't originally it. They were smaller, but when they saw the small ones, they were like, that just looks like you got a really good boob job. So we need to go bigger. And they had to go bigger, and they had to fly a pair with an assistant, with a PA from LA to North Carolina to get them there on time for me to shoot with them. And they weighed about 10 pounds, and I would have to go on set like at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning so that they can like glue them on me and then spray my body. And then they also had to clip in my hair and stuff, because I didn't want to dye it. And then do my makeup as well. So I would be there from like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to like 10 a.m. and then I would shoot. And then I couldn't sit. I had to like stand up and spread my arms so that they can like put them on. And yeah, that was crazy. And Danny gifted me one of the pairs
Oh,
as a parting gift. But they were kind of just like, I didn't know what to do with them. Like I didn't know, like, so they were just kind of like in my closet. And Marilyn Manson is a huge fan of the show, and like a collector of like pair like stuff like from like shows that he loves. So for his 50th birthday, I went to his 50th birthday and I gifted them to him and I signed them.
wow. Yeah, for anybody that hasn't watched Eastbound and Down, first of all, you're missing out, but they're very big. So, you've talked a little bit about some of your roles with the nudity. How comfortable is that for you on a set to do that?
Not at all. I mean, I guess now I'm more comfortable with it. Like I'm pretty like just like, oh, like whatever. Um, but I mean, it is uncomfortable because you do have a lot of, even though it's a closed set, you do have still like about 10 people in the room with you who are like watching you. And then you have people saying like, oh, like put your arm here, put your leg here, lean this way, lean that way. Like and then also, you're rubbing on each other, right? So it's like sometimes for some people in the scene, your body doesn't know that you're not doing what you're doing. So your body reacts. So you have to kind of deal with that stuff.
Yeah, got
And so you're like, oh,
um, Amy Schumer, first of all, she said it was a joke, but what she said when she was filming a movie with John Cena that they actually had sex. And then they said later, "Oh, no, no, that was just a joke," or whatever. Are there a lot, or is it common for, I guess, like almost like uncomfortable situations?
I mean, not
Or,
I mean, like, to have sex, not while you're shooting, like,
I mean,
no.
close calls.
Oh, like, I mean, on the Greasy Strangler, I had a situation where, uh, eh, Big Ronnie is, eating, uh, Janet out, and the director didn't think he was close enough, and it didn't look believable, and I was like, "No, he's close enough, like, I can feel his breath on my vagina." And I had a courtesy cloth. Um, and so they didn't tell us, and they had the first AD go push his head down, and he slipped and his nose went inside,
Hmm.
and I lost my shit. I got up and I was like, fuck you, I'm stopping this and I'm going home. And I stopped production for a few days.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's happened.
Well, that sounds like a close call.
Yeah.
What's the conversation like going into prior to a scene like that? I mean, I would guess that there'd be I don't well, I mean, what do you guys talk about before doing something?
I mean, like we talk about the technicality of how it's going to happen, but once you're in there, and if sometimes if they're trying to get their shot, that's all they're thinking about, kind of thing. So uh, you just have to be. One of the things that I learned from that experience is like you have to be your own self advocate, and it doesn't matter who you're going up against and what they tell you. Like you're never going to work in this industry again. You're going to be blacklisted, kind of thing. Uh, Self advocate and don't let that intimidate you.
Do you ever turn down a role because of a nude scene?
Um, Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Yeah.
I did a podcast with Doug Ellen, the creator of Entourage, and he said that one of his biggest surprises in the final season was how much weight Jerry Ferrera lost. Um, and he was shocked when he showed up on set, and he was so much thinner than he was the year before. Are you getting different roles or offers now? Uh,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've noticed that my roles, the things that I go in are different. It's like the hot girlfriend, the hot wife, like the hot this, or the cute girl next door, or, you know, um, or even like co star or lead. Um, which technically on the Grease Strangler, I was a lead. But before that and after that, I was never considered lead material or a co-star material. Um, and now I'm getting those auditions like for that kind of stuff because of the way that I look. Um, but then they always also want me to do Maria. Um, and which is difficult, especially like, oh my gosh, whenever they want me to go in for a multicam show, which are like your what you would call like your Big Bang Theory friends. It's like those that are filmed in front of an audience. Those have a very specific formula of like 1, 2, 3, laugh, 1, 2, 3, laugh kind of thing. And that's not the kind of comedy that I do. So whenever they ask for Maria on those things, I'm like, oh, I'm going to fail miserably on this. Like, this is going to suck so bad for the both of us. But yeah, no, I'm like, I've noticed that like the roles that I go in for are very, very different. And yeah, and then I'm also like in a weird period because I'm like, I'm 45, but I don't necessarily look 45. So they're like, oh, well, we went older because you don't look old enough to what we're looking for. Um, so it's kind of always like that thing, like where, you know, it I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm kind of just trying to figure it out because I've been living in this body for the past year, so I don't know how it's going to go.
Are you getting a lot of auditions though?
Yeah, I get about three, like three a week or so.
That's good.
Yeah, about three a week. But then I also like take breaks because I get overwhelmed because I have like a regular job because I had to get a regular job. And then I also do BA work, which is like brand ambassador work for like alcohol.
Tequila.
And like tequila, Aperol spritz, different kinds of things. Because like I'm not working full time as an actress, so I have to do other things. And I think that's one thing that I don't think people realize is that even if you're a working actor, like unless you're like in the top 2% of SAG, which is like the Nicole Kidmans or Tom Cruises or Selma Hayeks of the world, you're a working actor, but you're still doing other things. You've got to have like another job, maybe two, maybe three, maybe four, to sustain yourself until you get that next thing. And yeah, so that's what I do. And I do conventions. Yeah. So like whatever, yeah, whatever comes along, I kind of do whatever comes along in like that realm of like, um, you know, uh, entertainment. Yeah.
I got you. So what's the funniest behind the scenes story when you were filming a vulnerable scene? Are there any funny stories?
Oh God, when I was filming a vulnerable scene. Oh, when Stevie tells Maria that he cheated on her, I really, sorry, my dog is going off. Can you hear him?
I
Bam Bam.
heard something, yeah. What kind of dog?
He's a miniature poodle.
Hmm.
He's a street rescue from LA.
Hmm.
So I always joke that he has his little shiv ready to like take people out. Um, but it was when Stevie tells Maria that he cheated on her. Um, I I like pulled from like a past experience when my ex-boyfriend cheated on me, and I was like, that's what I'm going to use to like get this emotion out. And I really laid into him and I slapped the shit out of him
For real?
for real.
Did he know it was coming?
Well, they told me that I wasn't hitting him hard enough,
Oh,
that it didn't look real. And I was like, oh, okay. You want real? I'll give you real. I'm like, I'm Latina and I used to be in a little gang when I was younger, so I can give you real.
did he really shave his head for the show, or was that a wig?
No, that was bold cap. Yeah.
Yeah. I, everything is just flooding back to me about that show now. I love that show. I mean,
Yeah.
congratulations on a great show, and thank you for making one that I love. I get so much enjoyment out.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
I
And
really
that people still enjoy it. That people still enjoy it even now.
Yeah. No, I mean, I literally once I put it on, I'll just keep binging through it, and I don't know. I know there's other shows out there I should be I mean, I just watched, oh, what's that? I Will Find You. Really good show on Netflix.
Is it?
Oh
I
my
will
god.
find you. Oh my God, that reminds me of the Isla Fisher, I'll find you from Wedding Crashers.
I loved her in Wedding Crashers. Yeah. This show is, it's really good. It's, I think there's 8 episodes. Uh, I don't wanna spoil the movie or show, but it's a good one.
I haven't seen it. I don't even think I've heard of it. But I don't watch a lot of TV nowadays. But I should. Like I still haven't finished watching like the last episode of Stranger Things. I'm like, still need to see that. Down Cemetery Road. I don't know if you've heard of that. I think it's Down Cemetery Road with Emma Thompson. It's a British show. So good. I watched the first 4 episodes and I haven't finished it.
I finally watched
Um,
I finally watched all of Breaking Bad.
oh my God.
I started
I
it
was
3 times, I got to the 3rd season, then I stopped, so this past winter. I went through the whole thing again and finally watched it.
I was up for a role on Better Call Saul, but it was a co-star role. Like, so co-star in television is different than co-star on film. And so my agent was like, I don't think you should do it. So we turned it down, but it was like for a co-star role on Better Call Saul, which was the spinoff from Breaking Bad.
Yep, I watched
I'm
a
like,
couple
oh,
episodes.
I should have done it. I got bad advice.
Yep. So you worked on so many other different projects. Do you prefer comedy or drama?
So I can cry on cue.
Really?
Um, don't ask me to do it now. I'm not Meghan Markle. Sorry. Um, but um, I most of my career has been comedy, which is funny because I started being super dramatic. Like only two classes that I took two classes in college, and I was like always like the crier. And then after Eastbound and Down, I took an acting class because I thought me getting Eastbound and Down was a fluke and that I was a fraud. So I took another acting class. Uh, and then after that, I went to another acting class for multicam shows because I suck at them. Um, and yeah, that was my extent. But I think my career has been comedy, and so I would say that I enjoy comedy the most,
Why isn't Will
even though I don't
Ferrell
think
brought,
I'm particularly funny.
why hasn't Will Ferrell brought you into one of his movies?
I don't know
Come on,
because they know
Will.
because they know I'm crazy on tequila.
And you're a brand ambassador though, so gotta be. Did you ever do a role that you felt deserved more attention than it got?
I worked on this show called Vida, which I think was a fantastic show. Um, and I don't particularly think that my character needed more attention, but I think the show needed more attention. It was written and produced by Tanya Saracho, and it starred Michelle Prada and Melissa Barrera. Um, and it was on for 3 seasons on Stars. And I just thought that the message and what the show was about was so great. There's a lot of sex involved in it, but the core of the show was such a fantastic like idea, and like I think it still stands time. So I think that Vida would probably be one of the things, not because I was in it, but just because of what the show was and is, and the people involved in it.
Okay. If you could revisit one of your characters, who would it be? You think?
Maria.
She's so great. Is there one project that audiences should go back and watch?
Um, Eastbound.
I agree. Hey, listen, anybody that's never seen it, you have got to watch it. It's ridiculous and hilarious.
Yeah, I would say Eastbound.
Here's a question. So I don't know if this is just rumor or what, but I heard Eastbound was loosely based on John Walker, the Atlanta Braves pitcher, and he came to Cleveland. He pitched here. Did he ever show
I've
up on
heard
set?
that. Not that I'm aware of, no. But I've heard that rumor too. But no, at least I wasn't there. So no.
That's funny. He came to Cleveland and he at the time he was probably the most hated guy in baseball. And he came to Cleveland, and one of my favorite games I ever went to, he was one of the relief pitchers in that game. And
Oh, nice.
he was a freak. So, all right. So what's the craziest place you have ever been recognized? With the exception of the hiking trail that clearly a stalker followed you to.
Um, when I was doing BA work, I was working at this place called Recess here in Denver, and I was doing this thing for sports betting for like DraftKings and like uh, FanDuel or whatever. And I was like, oh, if you spin the wheel, you get this and this. And someone's like, "Wait, aren't you like Maria from Eastbound and Down?" And I was like, "Yeah, yep, yep. Wait, ha, what's up?"
Do you have any
Probably the weirdest.
you have any funny interactions?
Um, Bathroom, people passing me toilet paper to sign under the bathroom.
That's pretty
I was
good.
like, a little weird. Like, okay, cool. I don't know what you're
You
gonna
si
get out of that.
you sign it?
I didn't have a pen.
Oh, uh,
I'm like, "Do you want a picture when I'm done?"
uh, anybody ever mistake you for a different actress?
Yes. I get mistaken for Sarah Ramirez all the time from Grey's Anatomy. Uh, when I went to Paris, for the first time in 2011 by myself, and they're like, "Oh, the girl from Seattle, the girl they would say the name of the hospital, and I was like, no, not me, not me, not me, not me. You're going to be sorely disappointed if you take a picture with me." And then they would take pictures with me, and I'm like, still not Sara Ramirez. You're not who you think I am. Or I would get called in for auditions for a young Sara Ramirez, which I was really like offended on her end because I'm only a few years younger than she is. And I was like, what?
Alright, so what's the strangest autograph you've ever signed?
I had someone who wanted me to uh, write one of my quotes that took me 10 minutes to write
Mm.
and then sign.
Hmm. You ever receive any weird gifts from people? Besides the, gummy in Cleveland?
I think that was the weirdest one.
I can't believe you trusted the guy.
I know. Yeah.
See, a Cleveland
Yeah.
thing I would think would be to recommend you go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, to go to Slyman's for a roast beef sandwich, edible gummies, that's a new one for
Well,
me.
but the thing is, you have to understand when we're at conventions, we really don't have time to do anything. We're just at the convention. We're like, we live and breathe the convention. We're at the hotel. We wake up, we go to the convention, maybe go to a party, go back to sleep, wake up, go to the convention. Rinse and repeat. You don't get to explore. You're just there.
And
And
you
then
don't
you fly out.
so you don't even plan that to if you're in a place I don't know, what there's some cool stuff to do, you don't, "I'm gonna take an extra day and."
Not really, because I mean, like I said, I have like a regular job. So I'm like, I want to get back home so that I could do that. Um, so yeah, like one that I'm going to Fresno, I might go to LA because I'm so close to it. But I mean, other than that, like I just go to the convention, fly back home, go to the convention, fly back home. Like I don't really do anything. Except for when I went to Australia. When I went to Australia, I was in Australia for about 18 days and I got to do like little excursions.
I loved Australia when I was there. What part?
I went all over.
Oh, nice.
I yeah, I went all over because we traveled all over because it was with Monster Fest, which is a horror convention type thing. And we traveled all over. Went to like Melbourne, Sydney, Ballarat, um, Adelaide, like just like Tasmania,
Hmm,
like everywhere. Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah, I went to Perth and made it. I loved it.
Yeah. 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 No, it's great.
So those conventions, like I said earlier, I've never been to one. Is that everything that I would expect it to be? People dressing up as your characters? Uh,
So I haven't seen anyone dressed up as my character. I've seen people dressed up as other characters or like just like characters. Um, I've seen people with tattoos of my character. Um, but yeah, not dressed up as me. Although I'm thinking of like taking like because did that before and after edit on Instagram of what my characters would look like now versus what they look like then. And I have a lot of the outfits. And I'm like, maybe I should take them with me and like dress up as these characters during this convention.
Oh, they'd probably love it. Because that was such a low budget movie, did you provide your own costumes or was that
No, 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 no. No, we had a great costume designer. I think her name was Christina, and for Greasy Strangler, and she did an amazing job. Yeah.
okay? Uh, you ever have any weird interactions with other celebrities besides Marilyn Manson that we can't get the stories about?
It wasn't a weird interaction because we're
Oh,
friends, so he was being coy with me. But I mean, yes, there's a few. Um, but I would be an asshole to like reveal their names. There's not weird interactions, they were just assholes. Um, they weren't friendly.
no? Can't name
But I
names?
can tell you the friendliest people that I've met.
Okay, who's the friendliest?
Steve Buscemi, amazing. Joe Manganiello, um, super sweet. Um, Bellamy Young, um, Jill Scott, oh my gosh, why am I forgetting his first name? Stamos,
John Stamos.
John Stamos. Die,
Mm.
die, die. Uncle Jesse.
Yeah, he was on Entourage.
Yeah, I'm like, Uncle Jesse. Um, yeah, no, like, it's like, there was like, just very sweet people. Kelly Clarkson was very sweet. Yeah, I mean, like, there's like Nicole Kidman, Emma Stone, just like very kind people. Bill Maher, Kira Sedgwick.
Oh, you met some
Yeah.
pretty high up there A-listers.
Yeah, well, because I would get invited to the HBO Golden Globe party and HBO Emmy party. So I would get to like mingle with like Kerry Washington. Kerry Washington was really sweet. Yeah.
I have a friend out there. I love her. She's my favorite person in LA, Julie Michaels. She was in Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze
Yeah, so
and
I think I'm friends with her on Facebook.
Point Break.
I think I'm friends with her on Facebook.
I love
Yeah.
her. She is so awesome. In fact, I was going to bring my daughter out to LA and I told her about it. And she's like, well, if you do, you have to stay at my house. So, but my daughter ended up she didn't want to go to LA or something. So, but I'm like, we could stay
Uh-uh.
at a movie star's house. She's,
Uh-huh.
she's like, Dad, I never heard of her. I'm like, she's been in every movie that you could possibly think of, including Titanic. So
You're like, well,
I also did a podcast
kids.
with Chris Williams. You know him from Dodgeball.
Chris Williams.
His,
Sounds familiar. I'd have to see the face.
you ever seen Dodgeball?
Yes.
So he played Dwight on Dodgeball. He's the black guy. His sister's Vanessa Williams.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Your Enthusiasm.
I'm trying to like get a picture of the face, but I
Been in
vaguely remember.
a
Yeah.
million things. In fact, when I
Yeah.
did a podcast with him, he was telling me how he basically had to finance his entire career until eventually it paid off for him. But he was like 5 different credit cards just to finance his career. But he had to gamble on himself to do it. So, and he said
Yeah.
it wouldn't change a thing.
I mean, yeah. And even like when you're making the big bucks, like I don't think people understand. Like I remember I was making like I was making 6 figures and I was only walking away with like 27% of what I made.
Taxes,
Taxes, agent, manager, publicist, lawyer. Yeah.
yeah,
So
people don't realize that stuff. Even athletes,
yeah.
I have some friends that played professional football and they would say that every city they played in, they had to pay taxes in that state, that city. And
Yeah.
It was
So,
ridiculous.
like, I never got, like, a Mercedes or a BMW. Like, I bought my first, like, not my first car, but I bought my car that I bought to own. It was a Chevy Cobalt, a 2010, and I paid $8,000 cash for it. And I remember one of my friends, well, now acquaintances, but was like, he's like, "Why are you driving a Chevy Cobalt? You're on an HBO series. Like, you should drive a Mercedes like me." And I'm like, "Because motherfucker, you're paying $750 a month for that shit." I'm like, "Mine is paid off. If I go homeless, I can live in my car. You are living on someone's couch
Right.
because you're trying to keep up appearances."
Yeah. No kidding.
So, yeah.
Wow. So what what's social media done for acting today? Is it is it helping? Is it hurting?
I mean, I honestly don't know. Like, I'm trying to post more because I've been told that I should post more. So I'm trying to be more present, but I'm seriously not that interesting. So I like really have to try super hard to figure out what to post. Like, I just came up with like the before and after editing thing. So, or before and after edit of like my pictures from my characters from before till now. Um, so that's I've been posting, and then, like, I'll post, like, random things or, like, BA stuff that I've done, but I'm, like, terrible at it. But I know that it's playing a bigger role, like, when they're casting you, now they look at your social media to see what kind of following you have. Um, but, I mean, I really don't know. I'm, like, clueless. I'm like, "I'm 45." I'm not a Gen Xer, I'm a Zennial. I'm a Zennial because 'cause I'm not a Gen Xer and I'm not a millennial. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I just post whatever. And if people like it, they like it.
It's crazy how it's almost like you need to have a social score to do anything. I mean,
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to uh, what I do with my podcast. I don't have just one. I'm not just talking to actors and actresses or military. I wanted to talk to actually Buffalo Trace. I reached out to the distillery. I wanted to talk to somebody about how they make their bourbon the way that, because everybody seems to love bourbon. And so this guy reaches out to me. He says, "What's the name of your podcast? How many followers do you have?" And I'm like, "What the hell difference? I just want to talk to someone." He told me,
Yeah.
he said, "When you get more followers, then we'll talk to you." But it's just so insane with this social media.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Which is so funny that you mentioned the whole bourbon and like uh thing. Cause like I haven't started it yet. I have a placeholder for it, but I'm starting uh I don't know if it's a podcast or like a series or something on YouTube. And it's called Midnight Pours with Elizabeth DeRazzo. Uh and it's about neat versus dirty drinks. And I'm talking about scotch, about whiskey, about tequila, about mezcal, about, different spirits, but in a more like approachable way of someone who is discovering them myself. And as a female, because it's predominantly owned by males. So yeah, that you reached out to a bourbon distillery because I just hooked up with this distillery as a BA called Breckenridge Distillery, and they just hired me on, and they were so fantastic and like amazing. That I mean, if you want to talk to anyone, I would say reach out to them because they're really great. They're like super great, and they have really great product.
Well, when I got rejected by this guy, and I figured he was probably some 20-something-year-old little punk, and so I actually got offended by this. I we have a whiskey maker here in Cleveland. It's called Cleveland Whiskey, and they don't distill the traditional way, where in the barrels and it takes years or whatever. It The guy was he's a Navy veteran, and he learned how to distill, basically desalinate water in the Navy, and he turned that into a business where he makes his own whiskey, but he can make it in a couple of days instead of a couple of years. And
Oh,
it's it's so I wanted to have him because it's Cleveland whiskey, and he's a friend of mine, and I said, "All right, well, screw it. If Buffalo Trace doesn't want me to tell their story, I want to tell Cleveland whiskey story." And real whiskey people hate the way he makes whiskey. You know, they think he's reinventing the wheel or somehow, they don't like it. And so I was like, well, screw it. I'm going to tell his story anyway. And it's a
Yeah.
it's a really cool story, but again, that whole like I needed a social score or something to talk to a big name player.
Yeah.
I don't know. But Cleveland whiskey, he can literally make it in a couple of days, and it's pretty.
Wow.
So if you want to hear about something like that, I'll send you the link to my podcast with him. It's for me it was pretty fascinating.
That's cool. Yeah. Definitely
Especially
send me
for
the
what you're
info.
going to be doing. Maybe you'll want to hear about how somebody else does it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I love to do a little rapid fire thing just to kind of keep the person I'm talking to on their toes and couple rapid fire questions. You ready for this?
Okay.
I like to have a little fun. All right. Liz DeRazzo, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Morning person or a night owl?
Night owl.
I think I know the answer to this, but comedy or horror?
Comedy.
Favorite movie of all time?
Um, Gone with the Wind.
Well, classic. All right. Favorite TV show? I know you said you don't watch a
The
lot.
X Files.
Yeah, of course. Dream role?
Something on the X Files with David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson, not the reboot.
Well, and I was going to say actor you'd still love to work with.
Gillian Anderson, David Duchovny.
If Hollywood disappeared tomorrow, what would you do?
What I'm doing now, I work for the VA.
You do?
Yeah.
I'm a veteran. What do you do for the VA? Can you say
I
without giving too much information?
Yeah, I work in the complaints department. So if they have a bad experience with the provider, then I investigate the provider and I collect data to either try to get the provider to get retraining or give them end dates in order to not be with the program anymore.
Well, listen, as a veteran, I just want to say thank you for what you're doing for my fellow veterans. So it's the VA is very important, and I know it gets a bad rap. Um,
Yeah.
where I go here in Cleveland, I have had zero issues. We have one of the biggest VAs in the country, the Lewis Stokes VA Medical Center in Cleveland. And for my outpatient stuff, I always go to this other one where I have zero issues. So thank
Yeah.
you for what you do for the veterans. I know it can't be easy because we can be crotchety, but thank you. So,
But no, I'm like, I know that it's an arduous like process. So I'm like, I just listen.
yeah, that's really the best thing you can do. So, all right,
Yeah.
one word your friends would use to describe you.
Cool beans.
Not uh bullshit artist.
No, because I say cool beans all the time and they're like, why are you still saying that? I'm like, cool beans. I don't know. I like it.
Well, do your fans at these conventions, do they call you a bullshit artist?
Bullshit artists all the time. Or beautiful Janet. Um, I also made these t-shirts that say Janet's magical pussy.
Are they buying them?
Yeah.
It's hilarious. And how often do you say hootie, tootie, disco cutie?
Every time at a convention, every single time.
Do you
Not
charge?
at home,
You
but
charge?
at the convention,
You charge?
every time.
Correct.
If they want me to do the dance. If they want me to do the dance, yes, but otherwise, no.
All right. And fans of the movie, how much is a dance? Are they?
I don't
Oh,
know.
then hey, then whatever it is, pay it because it's worth it.
Like, I don't know. It's on the price list. I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't look at it.
You coming back to Cleveland anytime?
I hope so. I think there was something that my appearance agent sent me about Cleveland, but I don't know when. So I think so. Yeah.
Is that the one last October? Is that the one when William Shatner was at it?
Uh, I don't know that he was in that one. I think Linda Blair was there,
Ooh.
if I'm not mistaken.
She ruined my childhood. I had some nightmares because of her.
Yeah, I think she was there. I can't remember. They kind of like all like because it's like you
Right.
know it's sometimes it's the same people in the circuit, so I forget who was at which one.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Wow. One of these days, I'm going to make it to one of those. I want to people watch, and I think it'd be fun.
yeah.
So when you look back at your career, what do you want people, or what do you hope to that people? Let me try that again. When people look back at your career, what do you hope they remember?
Um, Maria.
That's a good. What advice would you give someone trying to make it in Hollywood right now?
That's really tough because the industry has changed so much compared to like when I came into the industry. Um, it's just that I would say that if one door closes, just remember that another door will open. And if you really want this, just keep going. Um, and sometimes it doesn't matter what kind of training you have. It really doesn't. Sometimes it's just like a matter of when, where, and what you are and what they're looking for, and it's just a matter of luck. So it doesn't necessarily it's nothing personal kind of thing. So don't take it to heart.
Okay. What's next for you? What do you think? What do you think you're going to be doing next?
So right now I'm working on a horror script with my writing partner and with Eben, who I met through the convention circuit, who is one of the owners of one of the conventions that I work for. We're trying to figure out something to do with horror. So, horror, it looks like, is my next thing.
Greasy Strangler too.
Well, I'm dead, so I don't know
Yeah, that's
unless they bring her back.
well, they could always bring you back to life. Uh, where can everyone follow your work? Obviously, you're
uh, I'm
social media.
I'm on Instagram. Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Elizabeth DeRazzo. And I mean, that's mainly where I post. I have my Facebook, but that's mostly for like my friends and family.